For decades, Days of Our Lives has captivated audiences with its dramatic storylines, unforgettable characters, and shocking twists, making it one of the longest-running and most beloved soap operas in television history. Over the years, the show has featured an incredible cast of actors who brought its stories to life, but sadly, many of these talented performers have passed away. From longtime fan favorites to memorable guest stars, their contributions left an enduring legacy on the series and in the hearts of viewers. In this tribute, we remember 41 actors from Days of Our Lives who have tragically died, celebrating their lives, careers, and the impact they had on daytime television. Drake Hogestyn joined Days of Our Lives in 1986 at the age of 33, playing John Black, a man shrouded in mystery with an ever-changing past. His character became one of the show's most iconic figures, defined by his epic love story with Marlena Evans. Before his breakthrough, Hogestyn struggled to establish himself in Hollywood, initially training as a baseball player before turning to acting. His career on Days was tumultuous, with sudden departures and returns, including a controversial firing in 2007 that left him financially strained. Off-screen, his marriage to Victoria Hogestyn remained intact but was often tested by his intense work schedule. Their children, Ben, Alexandra, Whitney, and Rachel, grew up with a father often consumed by his career. In later years, Hogestyn suffered from chronic pain due to onset injuries, as well as bouts of depression. He was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer in early 2024, and despite treatment, his condition deteriorated quickly. He passed away on September 28, 2024, at the age of 70.
Hey, look at, maybe, we'll forget about this, alright? I'll pass on. This might not be such a great place for me to work after all.
I don't know why.
John Clarke was one of the original cast members of Days of Our Lives, debuting as Mickey Horton in 1965 at the age of 34. As the loyal yet often troubled lawyer, Mickey endured countless dramatic twists, including amnesia, love affairs, and devastating betrayals. Clarke's career before Days included small television roles, but it was his portrayal of Mickey that defined him. Despite decades on the show, he never achieved mainstream fame, often feeling overlooked in the industry. His marriage to Patricia Clarke was long-lasting, though strained by his demanding career. Their daughter, Melinda Clarke, went on to find greater success in Hollywood, starring in The O.C. and other major productions, a fact that was both a source of pride and quiet frustration for him. In 2007, Clarke suffered a severe stroke that ended his acting career, leaving him unable to speak clearly or move without assistance. His health declined in the years that followed, and he passed away on October 16, 2019, at the age of 88, from complications related to pneumonia.
Well, why is everybody accusing me without even a trial or anything?
Trial? Julie, get this through your head. This detective saw you take the stole with his own...
Frances Reid portrayed Alice Horton from 1965, at the age of 51, becoming the heart and soul of Days of Our Lives for over 4 decades. As the matriarch of Salem, Alice was a pillar of kindness, wisdom, and family unity, earning Reid a devoted fan following. Prior to her soap opera fame, she had a steady but modest career in television and theater, often frustrated by the lack of substantial roles for women of her age. Her marriage to actor Philip Bourneuf was stable but marked by long separations due to their careers. The couple never had children, a regret that Reid occasionally voiced, though she found fulfillment in mentoring younger actors on set. In her later years, she suffered from memory loss, which affected her ability to work, leading to her gradual retirement from the show. She spent her final years in quiet solitude, receiving occasional visits from former co-stars. Frances Reid passed away on February 3, 2010, at the age of 95, from natural causes.
Thank you. Thank you very much, all of you loyal viewers around the world, watching day after day, year after year.
Macdonald Carey originated the role of Dr. Tom Horton in 1965 at the age of 52, portraying the wise and compassionate patriarch of Salem. Before Days of Our Lives, Carey had been a leading man in Hollywood, starring in films and radio dramas throughout the 1940s and 1950s. However, by the 1960s, his film career had declined, and he turned to soap operas for steady work. While he embraced his role as Tom Horton, he struggled with the reality of being typecast and felt that days had both saved and confined his career. He was married twice, with both marriages ending in divorce, and had 6 children, though he was not particularly close to them. Behind his charming public image, he battled alcoholism, a struggle that worsened in his later years. In 1993, he was diagnosed with lung cancer, a consequence of decades of smoking. He passed away on March 21, 1994, at the age of 81.
All grown up. On their own. Marie will be the last to go.
Then you'll have the one thing you've yearned for.
John Aniston joined Days of Our Lives in 1970 at the age of 37, portraying Victor Kiriakis, a ruthless and calculating crime lord with a surprising soft side for his loved ones. His deep voice and commanding presence made Victor one of the most memorable villains in soap opera history. Prior to Days, Aniston worked steadily in television but struggled to land a defining role. His personal life was often complicated. His first marriage to Nancy Dow ended in divorce, and his relationship with their daughter, Jennifer Aniston, became strained, particularly after her rise to fame on Friends. While Jennifer's success brought him pride, he also resented being known more as Jennifer Aniston's father than for his own career. His second marriage to Sherry Rooney was more stable, though he remained somewhat distant from Hollywood social circles. In his later years, his health declined, and he largely retired from acting. He passed away on November 11, 2022, at the age of 89. Ringing from both the soap opera world and his famous daughter.
Well, thanks for setting me straight.
Yeah, in the meantime, why don't you go away, go walk the dog or something?
But you don't have...
Edward Mallory took on the role of Dr. Bill Horton in 1966 at 36, embodying a talented yet emotionally tormented surgeon. His portrayal won him acclaim, but his off-screen life was marked by just as much turmoil. Despite his professional success, he always felt overshadowed by bigger names in the industry, struggling to land roles outside of daytime television. His marriage to actress Suzanne Zenner ended in divorce, largely due to his relentless work ethic and inability to balance career and family. Though he remarried, his later years were riddled with regret, particularly over lost opportunities and personal failings. Plagued by chronic illness, he spent his final years in and out of hospitals, his once strong presence reduced to frailty. He passed away on April 4, 2007, at 76, after a prolonged and exhausting illness that left him in constant pain.
Bill?
It's okay, Marlena. All over with. The shunt is replaced.
And Sam?
I think we're going to keep her here overnight, so she...
Bill Hayes joined Days of Our Lives in 1970 at the age of 45, portraying the smooth and charming lounge singer Doug Williams. Doug became a fan favorite, known for his deep love for Julie and his ability to bring warmth even in dark times. However, Hayes' real life was far less idyllic. His first marriage ended in a bitter divorce, leaving him estranged from his children for years. Despite his early success in music and television, financial struggles followed, forcing him to take smaller, less rewarding roles. Though he later found happiness with his Days of Our Lives co-star Susan Seaforth Hayes, he endured years of declining health, including dementia that erased many of his cherished memories. His final years were spent in a haze of confusion, unable to recall the career that had made him beloved. He passed away on January 12, 2024, at the age of 98, leaving behind a legacy overshadowed by personal hardship.
With my girl, if you don't mind.
Sweetheart. Sweetheart, I don't mind at all.
Joseph Mascolo made his mark in 1968 at age 39 as the infamous Stefano Di Mera, one of the most cunning and ruthless villains in soap opera history. Stefano's power, intelligence, and unrelenting nature made him iconic, yet Mascolo himself struggled under the weight of his own expectations. A gifted musician before turning to acting, he always felt he had abandoned his first love. His personal life was no less complicated. Twice divorced, he had a troubled relationship with his only son, marked by years of misunderstandings and estrangement. While he enjoyed his fame, he was haunted by the fear of being typecast, unable to escape the shadow of his villainous role. In his later years, he suffered from Alzheimer's, a cruel irony for a man once known for his sharp mind. As his memory faded, so did his connection to the world he had once dominated. He died on December 8, 2016, at 87, after a long and heartbreaking battle with the disease.
Oh, Vivian will never know.
Well, your secret's safe with me. I should go before she gets here.
Peggy McCay became the beloved Caroline Brady in 1983 at the age of 56, playing the strong and resilient matriarch of the Brady family. On screen, she was a guiding force, but in reality, her life was lonely and filled with regret. Never marrying or having children, she often spoke of the emptiness that came from prioritizing her career over family. Though respected in the industry, she struggled with financial insecurity in her later years, with acting opportunities growing scarcer. Her health declined slowly, with memory loss robbing her of the ability to recall the years she had devoted to her craft. She spent her final days in solitude, far from the bustling world of television that had once defined her. On October 7, 2018, she died at the age of 90 from natural causes, leaving behind a career filled with triumph but a personal life filled with longing.
He is so determined for me to be stress-free that he's taking me to a health spa for a vacation.
Oh, good. Good for him. Good for you. Oh, Isabella.
Mark Tapscott stepped into the role of Bob Anderson in 1972 at 48, portraying a steadfast and loyal family man. His gentle, fatherly presence made him beloved by viewers, but behind the scenes, his life was far less stable. A struggling actor before Days of Our Lives, he had hoped the role would be his big break, but fame never fully arrived. The strain of an unfulfilled career weighed heavily on him, and his marriage eventually crumbled, leaving him estranged from his wife and only son, Daniel. Financial hardship followed, forcing him into smaller, less rewarding roles just to make ends meet. As his health declined, chronic pain and loneliness became his constant companions. By the time he passed away on September 10, 1993, at 68, he had faded from public memory, a man whose dreams had been quietly left behind, his final years marked by solitude and regret.
152, that's him.
Jed Allen joined Days of Our Lives in 1971 at age 36 as Don Craig, the principled attorney and devoted husband. Though his character was respected and admired, Allen himself faced struggles that went far beyond the screen. A talented actor, he longed for leading roles in film and primetime television but remained stuck in the soap opera world, a fate that left him frustrated. His personal life was equally tumultuous. He married young and had 3 children, but tragedy struck when his wife died, leaving him a grieving single father. Though he continued working, his heart was never the same, and he withdrew from the industry he once loved. In his final years, he battled heart disease and depression, spending much of his time isolated from the world. He passed away on March 9, 2019, at the age of 84, a man who had given so much but felt he had never truly received enough in return.
Tom, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to startle you.
No, I'm just jumpy today.
Oh, really? What, are you nervous about announcing the fashion show?
No.
Okay, you want to talk about what it is?
Quinn Kaye Redeker joined Days of Our Lives in 1979 at 43, bringing to life Alex Marshall, the charming yet deceitful businessman who always had a scheme in motion. While he relished playing the villain, his own life was marked by unfulfilled dreams and personal strife. An accomplished screenwriter, he co-wrote The Deer Hunter, 1978, but despite this triumph, his acting career never soared beyond supporting roles. 2 failed marriages left him emotionally drained, and his relationships with his children, Michael and Katie, became strained as his career disappointments consumed him. Alcohol became his solace, deepening his isolation as Hollywood gradually moved on without him. he spent his later years in obscurity, his once vibrant presence reduced to occasional nostalgic interviews. On December 20, 2022, at the age of 86, he passed away from natural causes, a man whose life had been a series of near successes and painful regrets.
It's really interesting. Get the old juices flowing again, you know? Be good for you. I promise you.
Wayne Northrop debuted as Roman Brady in Days of Our Lives in 1981 at the age of 34, portraying a devoted detective who put his family above all else. His early success on the show brought fame, but he struggled to break free from the role, leading to frustration and missed opportunities in Hollywood. Despite his on-screen heroism, his personal life was marked by turmoil. He married actress Lynn Herring, and they had 2 sons, Hank and Grady, but the pressures of his fading career and increasing isolation put a strain on their marriage. As offers dwindled, he sank into depression, feeling discarded by an industry he had once thrived in. In his later years, he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, a cruel fate for a man who once played a strong, protective figure. He gradually lost his memories, his sense of self slipping away. He passed away on November 29, 2024, at 77, from complications of the disease, his final years a tragic contrast to the vibrant career he once had.
Roman? Oh, I'm sorry. It was...
Robert Clary made his Days of Our Lives debut in 1972 at 46 as Robert LeClaire, a suave and sophisticated businessman with a complicated love life. But no fictional drama could compare to the real horrors he endured. Clary was a Holocaust survivor, having been sent to concentration camps as a child, where most of his family perished. Though he built a successful career, starring in Hogan's Heroes before joining Days, he never escaped the trauma of his past. He married but never had children, fearing that bringing life into the world carried unbearable risks. Though he devoted his later years to Holocaust education, the weight of history never left him. He outlived many of his co-stars, but the passage of time only deepened his solitude. He passed away on November 16, 2022, at the age of 96, a man who had endured the unimaginable, yet spent his final years battling the ghosts of a past that never truly let go.
Marcel, je peux pas vous voir. C'est une bonne soirée, hein? André? Oui, Monsieur Pierre. Apporte-moi.
Mary Frann joined Days of Our Lives in 1974 at 31, portraying Amanda Howard, a strong and independent woman entangled in dramatic relationships. Frann's own life was filled with unfulfilled potential. Despite her success on Newhart, she never became the leading lady Hollywood expected. Behind her polished exterior was a woman struggling with personal disappointments. She never married but was in a long-term, turbulent relationship with T.J. Escott, a real estate developer who often prioritized business over their love. Plagued by insecurities about aging in an industry obsessed with youth, she turned to excessive dieting and stress-inducing perfectionism. Her declining health went unnoticed, and on September 23, 1998, she died suddenly at 55 due to heart failure caused by undiagnosed lipomatosis and fibrosis. Found lifeless in bed, she departed quietly, her dreams of greater stardom and personal fulfillment left unfinished.
No, I said you were a terrific homebody.
Darling, that sounds like I'm somebody who's always home.
Well, you are.
Well, I may be home, but I'm always...
Arleen Sorkin joined Days of Our Lives in 1984 at 29, bringing to life the eccentric and flamboyant Calliope Jones Bradford, a character beloved for her quirky humor and outlandish fashion. Beneath her comedic exterior, Calliope yearned for true love and stability, mirroring Sorkin's own struggles. While she found some success, she was typecast, and her acting career never flourished beyond soap operas and voice work. She married producer Christopher Lloyd, but their relationship, though long-lasting, was strained by her declining health and emotional turmoil. The couple had no children, something Sorkin reportedly regretted deeply. In her later years, she battled multiple sclerosis, which left her physically debilitated, and pneumonia only worsened her fragile condition. Isolated and in pain, she passed away on August 24, 2023, at 67, a once vibrant entertainer silenced by years of suffering.
Well, this kingdom cannot survive without laughter. I will save the Princess Eve. What do you think of that?
Philece Sampler joined Days of Our Lives in 1981 at 28, playing the passionate and troubled Renée Dumond, a character whose affairs and betrayals made her a fan favorite. In real life, Sampler faced similar struggles. Despite steady work in soap operas and voice acting, she longed for greater recognition. She married Larry Dean, but their relationship was fraught with unspoken tensions, largely stemming from her struggles with infertility. Unable to have children, she buried herself in work, but the fear of being forgotten in the industry haunted her. As she aged, roles became scarcer, and she gradually withdrew, her once bubbly personality giving way to isolation. Her dreams of lasting fame and family remained unfulfilled, leaving her deeply disillusioned. On July 1, 2021, she suffered a fatal heart attack at 67, passing away suddenly and alone, her name fading from the public consciousness far sooner than she had ever feared.
If he tells anybody.
What are you talking about?
Us. I'm talking about us. What if he thinks that we're in love?
Oh, yeah?
Tony, no!
All right.
Brenda Benet joined Days of Our Lives in 1979 at the age of 34, playing the devious and calculating Lee Dumond, a woman who used manipulation to get what she wanted. Her career had flourished with roles in Wonder Woman, The Incredible Hulk, and The Love Boat, yet behind her captivating performances, her personal life was in turmoil. She was briefly married to actor Paul Peterson before divorcing and later wed the Incredible Hulk star Bill Bixby. Their union produced a son, Christopher, but their marriage ended in divorce, leaving Brenda heartbroken. In 1981, the unthinkable happened. Christopher died suddenly from a rare throat infection at just 6 years old. The loss shattered Brenda, sending her into a deep depression. She isolated herself from friends and family, unable to escape the suffocating grief. On April 7, 1982, at just 36 years old, she died by suicide in her Los Angeles home, leaving behind a devastating legacy of loss and tragedy.
Suspicious.
Why do I have this feeling that you are keeping something to yourself?
Has Lee's special life with Stefano come to an end?
Richard Biggs joined Days of Our Lives in 1987 at 27, playing Dr. Marcus Hunter, a compassionate physician dedicated to saving lives. In reality, Biggs faced battles of his own. Despite being a talented actor, he struggled with job instability, bouncing between roles with no lasting security. He married Lori Gerber, and they had 2 sons, but financial pressures weighed heavily on him as he fought to provide for his family. Unknown to him, he had a hidden heart condition, which he dismissed as fatigue from long work hours. On May 22, 2004, he suddenly collapsed from an aortic dissection at just 44, leaving his wife a widow and his children fatherless. His death was a cruel twist of fate. Having spent his career playing doctors who saved lives, he had unknowingly carried a fatal condition within himself, one that even his own character would have struggled to diagnose in time.
Even after everything that's happened, I realized I didn't want to let go. I was willing to do it all over again.
Patricia Barry became a part of Days of Our Lives in 1971 at the age of 49, portraying Addie Horton Williams, a strong-willed woman devoted to protecting her loved ones. With a long career spanning films and television, she made a name for herself in The Twilight Zone, Perry Mason, and Columbo, yet never achieved the Hollywood stardom she longed for. Married to producer Philip Barry Jr., her life appeared glamorous, but behind closed doors, their marriage suffered from neglect, distance, and whispered infidelities. They had 2 daughters, yet as years passed, Patricia found herself growing increasingly isolated, feeling forgotten by her family and the industry she had once thrived in. As Hollywood moved on, she slipped into obscurity, struggling with loneliness and fading recognition. In her final years, dementia took hold, stealing away her memories and leaving her lost in confusion. She passed away on October 11, 2016, at 93, dying quietly in a nursing home.
I give up. We can't even talk to each other.
All right. Maybe we should talk. Talk turkey, as HB would say.
Kaye Stevens entered Days of Our Lives in 1974 at 42, portraying Jerry Clayton, a vibrant and fiery woman who brought warmth and energy to the show. A gifted singer and entertainer, she once shared stages with Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin, her talent making her a staple of variety shows like The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson. But fame was fickle, her music career dwindled, and Hollywood interest faded. Her personal life was no better. 2 failed marriages left her feeling abandoned, and financial struggles pushed her into a downward spiral. She battled alcoholism and gambling addiction, spending much of her later years in deep debt, a stark contrast to the glamorous lifestyle she once enjoyed. Seeking redemption, she turned to religion and community service, but her declining health made life increasingly difficult. In her final years, she was diagnosed with breast cancer, and complications from blood clots left her bedridden. She passed away on December 28, 2011, at 79.
Show. And I was talking to a man. Do you know Dan Fry? You do, perhaps you do. Dan Fry is the world famous astrologist.
Tyler Christopher debuted as Stephen O. DiMera in 2001 at 29, embodying a ruthless and cunning businessman, a role that reflected the turbulence of his own life. Best known for General Hospital, he became a soap opera star, but behind the success, his demons lurked. Struggling with alcoholism, he was arrested multiple times for public intoxication, a stark contrast to the controlled and calculated characters he played on screen. His personal life was equally troubled. His marriage to Eva Longoria ended in divorce, and his second marriage to Brienne Pettigo also crumbled under the weight of his addiction. Estranged from his children, he found himself alone, battling financial ruin and declining health. Though he attempted sobriety, his struggles proved too great. On October 31, 2023, at just 50 years old, he was found dead in his apartment, his cause of death determined to be positional asphyxia due to acute alcohol intoxication.
You don't know how much I've hoped for this day to happen.
Hope is great.
Stanley Kamel played Eric Peters in Days of Our Lives in 1972 at 29, portraying a compassionate and dedicated man who always sought to do the right thing. A talented character actor, he built a career with roles in Monk, Melrose Place, and The West Wing, yet despite his professional success, his personal life was marked by profound loneliness. He never married and had no children, his world revolving solely around work. Though admired by colleagues, he spent much of his life alone, battling anxiety and undiagnosed heart issues that silently wore him down. His health quietly deteriorated, but he kept his suffering hidden, refusing to seek help. On April 8, 2008, at the age of 65, he was found dead in his Hollywood Hills home from a fatal heart attack. His body remained undiscovered for days, a heartbreaking end for a man who had spent his life bringing characters to life but died in solitude, unnoticed by the world. Wayne Heffley took on the role of Vern Schofield in 1988 at the age of 61, bringing to life a steadfast, dependable character who provided much-needed support to those around him. Despite his strong screen presence, Heffley's career was largely marked by small, forgettable roles, his dreams of greater success slipping further away with each passing year. His personal life fared little better. His marriage, once full of promise, became strained under the weight of financial hardship and unspoken resentments. Though he had 3 children, Mark, Lisa, and David, his dedication to his career created emotional distance, leaving him alienated in his later years. As his health declined due to kidney failure, he found himself increasingly dependent on caregivers, his body failing him while his mind remained sharp enough to recognize the bitter reality of his fading legacy. He passed away on November 19, 2008, at the age of 81, alone in a hospital room, his decades of work in Hollywood largely forgotten. Merritt Yanka joined Days of Our Lives in 1984 at the age of 26, playing Joey, a dynamic and charismatic character who often found himself entangled in high-stakes drama. While Janka built a respectable career as a stunt coordinator, earning awards for his work, he always longed for greater recognition as an actor, an ambition that remained frustratingly out of reach. His marriage to Cindy was marked by love but also deep instability, as financial pressures and his physically demanding career took their toll. Their 2 children, Emily and Austin, grew up watching their father battle constant injuries, and when he was diagnosed with cancer, the family was thrust into a devastating struggle. His once powerful body weakened rapidly, and the burden of mounting medical costs compounded the already overwhelming stress. He passed away on September 16, 2020, at the age of 62. Who is your favorite character in Days of Our Lives? How do you feel knowing that the actors have passed away? Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you don't miss future videos. Thank you so much.